Hey everybody, I'm Jacob Soboroff, correspondent for NBC News. Welcome to NBCU Academy, and today we're going to take you behind the scenes on our recent reporting trip to Haiti. Now in the chair, JB Rutagarama, who shot everything we did in Haiti. Good to see you here, man.
Thanks for having me.
JB, the thing I wanted to start with is we were texting one another about what we were both watching on the news, the situation in Haiti, and I think both thinking about it would be great to do some reporting there. When we formed the team and we all decided we were going to go together, in terms of planning, what type of things, what's on your checklist?
There is the standard. You have to know about the story and what you're going to do, and have to plan for being able to go live and have the right camera and the right equipment to go live. And then the second part is to be able to do like an interview. If you had gotten an interview with the president, I had to be ready to have cameras that will be able to handle that.
That's a good point, and we had, it was something that we had put a request in for. A lot of times some of those things don't come through, and in this case it didn't, but you still have to travel with the gear.
Exactly. And then thirdly, I had to basically match your format, because you guys are very mobile. You basically jumping out of the car and ready to film with a camera that we put on a stabilizer that looks like a Steadicam on the gimbal. And beyond that, I also have to have backup in case camera 1 fails, camera 2 fails, I had to go to camera 3. So there's all this planning and then anticipating anything that can come around the corner. You just have to be ready for it.
I'm glad you brought that up, but because of your planning and because you brought that third camera, we were able to do a live report in basically a very remote commune called Akin.
And turning now to the ongoing crisis in Haiti, MSNBC's Jacob Soboroff is in a remote town in the country's southwestern peninsula. Tell us what you're seeing.
Andrea, thanks so much. So we're in Akin. It's an area that was hard hit by the earthquake that struck in August. And it was something actually that I'd never thought that we'd be able to do. Did you think we were going to be able to get out there?
I honestly, if this, when the cell signal was strong enough to actually be able to go live, I was able to put the backpack on my shoulder with the transmission in the back, and I was able to connect straight to my little handheld camera, and we were able to go live and to get on air with just that little camera. Also, the conditions we were in. I mean, we hit the ground running. It was hot. We're surrounded by a lot of people at the airport. You don't know what's going on. We had great security. I mean, we're in communication with the control room, trying to make sure they're seeing the signal. And I am there trying to frame you so you could be ready to go live.
This is the bus on which migrants...
There's a lot of moving parts, and we do it so often, you're almost on autopilot. And then it's almost instinctive. You know what you need to do. You just got to get it done.
What about behind the lens? Are there 3 things that, aspiring photojournalists should know about what it was like to work on a story like this?
Oh, that's a tricky one. I think you have to be aware, situation awareness. You have to be aware of your surrounding, even though you are focused on one eye into what you're looking at the frame, but you have to be able to see what's around you. I need to know what's behind you if somebody's running, towards it. So that's the safety part. The creative part, you have to really focus on your composition. What are you telling the story on just that little frame? And then additionally, you always have to be prepared. You have to have backup of backup of backup. I have like 3 cameras, and the cell phone is my fail-safe. I have it in my pocket. I have 2 of them, and I have to be able to basically shoot with that if everything else failed.
Did you ever find that you pulled out the phone and shot anything on the phone?
I didn't have to. I did use the third camera for the live, and that was my third, and then fourth it would have been camera. And I am curious. At some point, if you get to the phone, that means like all the other steps
you don't want to have the phone
You don't want to get the phone out, but it's there if you need it.
What was it like for you? On the ground, we had some conversations about it, but just being in Haiti as a photojournalist, but also as a human being, what was it like?
I had been to Haiti 3 times before, and it's very emotionally draining because you see the devastation, the poverty, and I mean, in our jobs we go to those places, and then you have to sort of shield your emotions from that and then just do your job, and that's the hard part because you have to disconnect from the devastation you're seeing, and in order to do your job, and sometimes that becomes a lot more difficult. But you just have to tell yourself like you're here for a reason, you're here to tell that story, and you should focus on that. But then it's when you get home where you sort of take the time to digest everything you witness, and then at least feel proud that you were able to shine a light on something so devastating, and hopefully you made a difference.
JB, thank you for everything you did and continue to do, and I'm so glad we got to work together on this. Appreciate it.
No, thank you so much.